Okay, I'm just going to go over today with you guys some of the information or answers to the two worksheets that we worked on this week. Hopefully it helps you out before you take the quiz today. We were using this graph for interactive where you could click on stuff for the first couple questions on the first worksheet. So we have the extinction rate tells you that it's number of families that go extinct per million years, which was the first question, asking how do they show the extinction rate on this graph. The graph is based on fossils of marine organisms. And the background extinction rate was a little tricky for you. What the background rate means is when there isn't a mass extinction going on, where there's a lot of families being wiped out by different traumatic events in the life of the Earth, we have the background rate, which especially right here is right around 5, is a little bit lower than 5 in the middle. And then it kind of gets up close to 5 again here. So the background extinction rate is just how many families go extinct when there isn't a mass extinction going on, roughly. And then we get into what caused each extinction event. So Ordovician, we had all those glaciers repeatedly formed and melted, which changed the sea level and shoreline a lot, which kind of mixed up the chemicals in the ocean and changed it that way. The Devonian, rapid growth of land plants took in large amounts of carbon dioxide, which made the planet cool, since carbon dioxide is a greenhouse gas. So it's kind of opposite of the climate change that is going on now, where we're putting in CO2. The plants took it out of the atmosphere and it caused us to cool down. They also released nutrients into the water, which caused algal blooms, and that took the oxygen out of the ocean, because when those bodies of little tiny microscopic algae die, they decompose, which takes oxygen. The Permian increased volcanic activity, released large amounts of sulfur dioxide and carbon dioxide, which the sulfur dioxide led to acid rain, CO2 to some extent acid rain, but mostly the global warming from the carbon dioxide. Triassic underwater volcanic activity caused an increase in carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. Cretaceous was volcanic activity caused global warming and ocean acidification, and then the asteroid hit, which caused big changes really quick. It caused rapid cooling because the sunlight couldn't hit the Earth as well anymore. Then the Anthropocene, anthro means human, so this is the potential one we're in right now. Burning fossil fuels, farming, deforestation have increased the amounts of CO2 and sulfur dioxide, which is leading to global warming, rising sea levels, the ocean becoming acidic. We've got massive habitat loss, we're overfishing, and invasive species are reducing biodiversity in ecosystems. Right. And then what happens to the diversity of life after an extinction event? The diversity increases because we have new ones evolving, because there were niches, which are ecological roles that animals can take advantage of because they're open. There isn't an animal or plant, a living thing that's taking advantage of that role. All right, but that takes a while for that to happen. It's a little hard to see that the species go up on this graph here because this one is just showing what went extinct. When you go to our graphing mass extinction one, that's the graph where you can clearly see that plant diversity or animal diversity goes up. So if we take a look at the graph, I connected it with a curvy line, so it looks a little goofy every once in a while because of the way the computer curved it. But otherwise, I just connected the dots from left to right. So what we notice is occasionally the families go down, which is when we would have our mass extinctions. So we have a mass extinction there, another one here, another one there. Okay. Scroll bar. Yes, there it is. Okay. Okay, I guess I didn't label the mass extinction event. So if we did that quick here, I can do that in a little bit. We have the end Ordovician, which is the first one. Then we have this mass extinction here, which should be the late Devonian. Then we have the end Permian and the Triassic, which are the ones that are fairly close together. So those two right there. Then we have the Cretaceous, the one that caused the KT boundary. And then on this graph, doesn't really have anything going on super recent, so you can't really label the Anthropocene. So I'll put those labels on here shortly, so they pop up on the actual graph in the answer key. Just forgot to do that. But the three questions, and these three questions are kind of what you might get asked on the quiz, and it's what we've been focusing on a lot lately, is kind of what is a mass extinction? So mass extinctions are when the diversity of life goes down drastically. Something wiped out a lot of the living things on Earth. On the graphs, you find mass extinctions by finding either on the other one you were looking for peaks, but on this one you're looking for where the number of families goes down quickly. So you can find the mass extinctions that way. Afterwards, after a mass extinction, what happens to the diversity of life? So right here, we notice that after the mass extinction, the diversity of life goes up again because new species evolve. And after this mass extinction, the diversity goes up. After that one, the diversity, the number of different types of families, different living things goes up. Same thing after the dinosaurs went extinct. We had new families come around. They were not the same family that went extinct before. So it's not like we had dinosaurs come back. They went extinct, they were gone forever. We had different things take their place, like different groups of mammals, different groups of reptiles, different groups of birds. So new things came around that weren't exactly like the stuff from before. And then mass extinction, what causes them? If we summarized everything we talked about in the last worksheet, really they can have many causes, but they kind of come down to this environmental change. So the environment, the habitat changes pretty significantly, either in a short amount of time, like the asteroid, or over several million years, thousand years, but it's quick enough that certain things can't survive anymore. And you could have listed specific things, but I kind of like the summary, which is some type of climate change happens, and it happens in a way that living things can't handle it and they die off. It's too quick for them. Okay. So, with that, good luck on your quiz today. Remember that the graphs to use on it are at the bottom. There's two of them. You'll be looking at those to kind of get some information from them. And otherwise, have a good long weekend.